barbecue.
Hey guys, we are making ribs today. We got the Masterbuilt 1050. Just did my burn-in and seasoning this morning. So now we're doing ribs. I went up to my new favorite butcher shop. For those around here, Grundhofer's in Hugo, Minnesota. Really good stuff. Went up there today to see if I could get some pork belly. Unfortunately, they were out, but we got some baby backs. These are a 3.5 pound rack of baby backs. How I like to tell if it's a good rack or not. Yes, you want to look at the fat content of the meat and determine if it's got enough, because that's where your flavor is going to come from. The other thing to do is it's the squeeze test. I like to take a look at them sideways, find the thinnest part of the meat, the bones with the least amount of meat on top of them, and give them a squeeze. There are some smaller racks that maybe you'll save a couple of bucks, but when you give them that squeeze test, there's not a lot of meat that's on top of that bone. You're not paying for the bones, you're paying for the meat, so it's worth paying a couple extra bucks to get one that passes the squeeze test. Today I bought a new rub I haven't tried before, and I bought a new barbecue sauce I haven't tried before. So let me grab those. All right, today we're gonna try the Hanson's Special Spice. This is another one that is a great butcher shop in our area. A lot of Hanson's around Minnesota. Never tried their rub, so today we're gonna give it a run. For our barbecue sauce, we have BillyRay's Old Style Gourmet Sweet and Spicy Barbecue Sauce. Something like this, you know it's not coming from some mass-produced factory somewhere. It is coming from a factory somewhere, but I like to buy these smaller brands, try them out. You get some unique stuff, and somebody's put a lot of thought into the sauce usually, so we're gonna give BillyRay's Old Style Gourmet Sweet and Spicy Sauce a run today. So getting our ribs started, I'm gonna go ahead and take them out of the bag here, and we'll take a look at them without the wrapper on. When you're taking your ribs out, always give them a little rinse. I use cold water. Oh yeah, these look great. Very nice, good marbling on there, all through the meat. And they did a great job trimming them too. Once you rinse those babies off, we're gonna dry them real good. Just pat them dry. I want them to be just moist enough to take the rib rub we're gonna put on them here. The one thing I see is these do still have the silver skin on the back, so we're going to take that off. I saw someone do this recently, just using a spoon. You take the spoon and you just start to work it underneath the skin. Give yourself enough to grip, and it should come right off. Give her a little taste. Oh, yum. This is gonna be a good one. So I don't worry about too much on the bottom. There's not a lot down there, but you gotta get the whole rack some love. You could use a binding agent. A lot of people use mustard to get the rub to stick. I just find that I don't need it. I can get enough on. Boy, I wish this come out a little quicker. On Hanson's, make your rubs come out of the bottle quicker. Make the holes bigger. Press that in. This is what I really care about. Good coat on this guy. And I like to load them up with a lot of rub. But I have put on too much rub before. When you put on too much rub, it doesn't crust to the meat. It just sits on top of it, like a thick layer of something that just falls apart. Be like if you just took this rub, got it wet, and then came back and ate it with a spoon. But kind of my barometer is, I don't want to be able to see the meat. Get those ends really good. Those end pieces are special. Flavorful, delicious. I always get the end pieces. Okay. So give it a good press. Press it in, don't rub it in. Anybody who's a barbecuer knows that. You rub it in, you move it away. You press it in, you nestle it into its home for a delicious smoked product. So here's what we've got. Delicious rack of baby backs with some Von Hanson's dry rub. You're always going to want to let the meat rest. You want to let that rub adhere. The way you get a good crust on the outside of your meat is after you put that rub on, you let it sit. You let it do its thing. A minimum of 15 minutes. Some people give it an hour. I usually give it about 30 minutes. So I kind of fall right in the middle. But if you don't do this, you put them on right now, it'll still taste good. It just won't have the same texture as if you let it rest. So we'll be back in 30 minutes. All right, these bad boys have been soaking it in for 30 minutes. Look like they're ready to go. A little sheen on them is okay. This is where you get yourself in trouble. If you see, oh, there's a little moisture, they can take more. You can do that. There are certain rubs that'll work. Like I said, I put on too much before, and so to me, this is perfect right here. All right, we're gonna try out the center rack today. I have no idea where the hot spots are or anything. This is my first cook on this smoker, so we're just trying it out. So we're going middle rack, as the great Myron Mixon will tell you in his videos. If you follow him, give them a squeeze, push them together. You're gonna get more meat per rib. If they stay spread out, they'll be too thin. Now these are thick ribs, so you might be able to get away with it, but that's just a good rule of thumb. Whenever you're making ribs, squeeze them together, push them in, more meat per bone. Okay, now normally I'll be using lump charcoal, a hard wood. That way you almost don't even need to put any extra wood into the hopper here. But what I had in there already was just basic charcoal briquettes. So now we need to put in some wood. So I'm gonna show you how that works. God, it is a beautiful day today. Beautiful day for making some ribs. All right, so we're using the charcoal briquettes. So we have to put in real wood. I like to use hickory on most things, but definitely on my first smoke on the 1050, we're going with hickory. So let me show you how the Gravity Built works. So this is our hopper. Up above, this is where all of our charcoal sits. So we'll open this bad boy up. Now, down inside here, this is where everything falls through the grate after the charcoal burns. So up above, I'll kind of get you best angle I can. There's a grate. That's where all of our charcoal is burning, and as it drops down through, this is where it settles. So you'll see some in there right now. Now the charcoal is still burning after it drops through that grate. So by putting the wood down in the bottom, it's actually putting it on an active bed of very small pieces of charcoal, and it will continue to be buried. So that's what we'll get our wood smoking, and that's where our smoke will come from. So we'll throw this giant log in, and if you're saying, Tom, that's way too big for one rack of ribs, you're right. But I'm too lazy to cut it, so we're just gonna throw it in. And that baby will smolder away. That's it. So now we've got our temperature set 275. Watched a video here recently where they said 275 is the right temperature to smoke ribs, and I thought, no, that's wrong. I've always done 225, 250. That's the right smoking temperature. More and more videos I watched with championship barbecue makers, 275 seems to be the consensus. It's low enough, slow enough, but it really gets that fat inside of the ribs to the right temperature to be making championship barbecue. So 275, we're gonna let this do this thing. We're gonna come back when it's dry to the touch. So roughly 2 hours, I'm gonna guess. But when we come back, I wanna be able to touch that rib and have no rub come off on my finger. See you in a little bit. All right, guys, I'm gonna make this quick because we're getting rained on. So here's what we got. It's been about 2 hours, dry to the touch. So these are ready for the next steps. I'm gonna go grab some tongs and a tray and get these bad boys inside. All right, guys, so it's raining, lovely, but it just stopped. Nope, the sun's out, but it's still raining. Welcome to Minnesota. Okay, so we're 2 hours in. This, nice and crusty to the touch. Let me get an internal temp. So here we're at about 146 right now. A little higher, 156 over there. And about 155 right here. So you want to get these to an internal temperature of around 200 degrees, maybe just over, to get them really fall off the bone. Let that fat do what we want it to. Now we're gonna go ahead and wrap these, put them in with some moisture, put them back out there for a couple more hours, get them close to that 200 temp for us before we sauce them and finish them off. All right, so I watched a video the other day that compared 3 different prep methods. Great video. The first one is not wrapping the ribs. Leave them on there as is, give them the full amount of time, wait till they hit 200. The second method was using aluminum foil. The third method was using butcher paper. The consensus amongst that group of barbecue guys was that the foil gave the bones the best sort of what you want to see. You want to see the meat pull back from the bone. So they had the best pull back from the bone, and they felt that they were the juiciest. So I'm gonna use what I learned there and go with foil for making these ribs here today. Oh, this Von Hanson's rub smells amazing. These are gonna be so good. Okay, so we are gonna go with a pretty basic method here of getting these ribs good and ready. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make a little boat, because I want to be able to lay some stuff down on this foil that I don't want to lose. I want it to stay right in and make these ribs amazing. So we're gonna do that. I'm a big fan of apple cider vinegar, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pour enough. It's gonna steam inside here. You don't really need to make a soup or anything like that on these ribs. What you just want is enough liquid to steam and let that steam work its way into the meat. And then you're also gonna get sort of a marinade on the bottom side, because you want to keep these meat side down. Meat side down is kind of the consensus. There's a little controversy there, but I think meat side down really puts the flavor into the rib, which is what you want. Also want to get some butter in there. And then because this rub is really impressing me right now, the smell that I'm getting when I initially tasted it before I got started, I'm gonna put a little bit of that in there. Let that continue to work some magic around these ribs. Just adding in more layers of flavor. So all this stuff, I'm putting it on the back. It's gonna melt down. It's gonna melt around the top here, trickle on down, and then with these being wrapped, that whole meat facing side, which goes down, is going to get all that love from these juices. Throw a little more ACV in there. Oh yeah. These are gonna be money. Okay, now being careful not to spill anything here. Leave a little bit of room. Make sure it's all gonna get touched as we go here. Woo! I wish you guys could smell these right now. Turn those babies up. All right, we're ready to get back out on the grill. All right, stopped raining. Rained for like 5 minutes. Just when I needed to take out the ribs. Classic. Okay. Smoke is still going. One thing you didn't see me do, I did off camera. I just put one more piece of tin foil around the top of it. I just want to make sure that that top seal keeps in all that flavor and moisture. So we'll let these go for about another hour, hour and a half. Come out and check them. I just want to get close to that 200 temperature. And in case you guys are interested, so that big old log we put in there earlier is almost charred away completely. So there's our coals, and big old log is now a big old piece of ash. All right, so I just checked these out with the thermometer, coming in at about 210. So a hair over what we want, but dang, are these gonna be fall off the bone. So we'll take them off of here, bring them inside, and take them out of the hot tub. All right, we got the ribs inside. Give you an idea. The middle's just about 200. Over 200 on the side. Just a hair under. When I was outside, I was reading 210 all 3 spots, so it must be cooling down just a little bit. Unwrap these. I poked a hole in the bottom of this thing, and some of the water was, or the juices were leaking out. And I let the dogs out, and they found those juices right away. Take these out over the sink and move them onto a tray. Try to take up less space in the dishwasher and use a little tray. Now we're getting the big tray. Always just start with the big tray. Rookie. Just trying to get this underneath these. These are ready to fall apart. So just to bring you in, getting some nice pullback. This whole bone's almost out right there. Looking good on the back side. Nice pullback underneath on the front. That's the tin foil. Results hold up with the advice we got from that YouTube channel. I gotta look up who that is. Give those guys some credit. They did another one with briskets too, so check out that. Bear brisket, one wrapped in foil, one wrapped in butcher paper. I'll let you watch the video and find out who won. Ribs, it was aluminum foil. Sorry, spoiler alert. All right, now we're gonna see what our guy BillyRay's Old Style Gourmet Sweet and Spicy Barbecue Sauce. You don't need a ton. You just want to put enough on it to add just another layer of flavor. These are already gonna be super flavorful ribs. I can tell just by smelling them. And I just mop it on there. On this spot where it was a little lighter. You can still kind of see right through there. That's just the fat coming up, the meat kind of separating itself out a little bit. You can put a little extra sauce on that one, and it'll take that flavor right in. Sauced, ready to get back out there. Gotta clack the tongs. All right, they're sauced. We're just getting them back on, tighten back up a little bit. These are gonna be juicy. We'll put them in. Most people would say about 15 minutes. Sometimes people say less. I like to let that sauce tighten up. I'd rather eat a sticky rib than a wet rib. And another time I'll show you guys my Sauceman let them dry method. No wrap in that one. Just put the sauce on, let it reduce down, put so much flavor onto the ribs, and it feels like a dry rub. So, be back in a couple minutes, we'll take them off. All right, it's been about 15 more minutes. Wow. Beautiful. So there's still a little moisture. You can see it's a little thicker in spots like this. And where I thickened it up, as it cools down, that'll start to tighten up a little bit. So that's okay. We can live with that. That pullback on these bones, I'm really happy with that. That you can see every single one of those bones right there. That's a key, I think. And the thickness of the meat on top of this, that's the squish test. That's what gets you there. And pushing them together. So great product. Looks really good. We'll take these off, get them inside, get them cut. All right, we'll do the dangle. This is supposed to tell you if they're good or not. Oh, they're coming apart. We're not doing the dangle. They're good. They're good. Oh, these are gonna be so juicy. All right, these bad boys have been resting for a little while, 8 or 10 minutes. Can't wait any longer. Time to cut. And yes, I know this isn't a knife to cut ribs with. Birthday, Christmas present? Huh? This is my Costco bread cutting knife, but it works good on meat. Oh yeah. Okay. Wow. Masterbuilt 1050, first time cooking with that one. Look at all that smoke ring. You've not gotten that with my electric smoker. Electric smoker is how I learned how I cut my teeth. This one, damn. That's beautiful. And that nice end piece. I've got some dogs by me hoping some of this drops. Yeah, oh man, look at that. Smells good. Pulls away from the bone. Oh, this was a good purchase. Can you hear those nails in the background? Here they come. Checking to see if I dropped anything. Ooh. Ooh. Damn. This might, coming from an electric smoker going to the Masterbuilt 1050, these are in a different conversation of rib. That smoke ring I showed you, huge difference. The texture on these is fantastic. I also tried cooking my 275 today, so that's another big difference. This is the way to make them, guys. A smoker will be able to do this on a different level, but you can do this in your oven, guys. You make them like this at home, they'll turn out just the same way, same temp, same time. Wow. You'll be happy. So we used today, once again, both Minnesota companies. We got Von Hanson Special Spice. They say put it on everything. They know what they're talking about. I would put this on anything. Most of you guys have probably tried this before. First time for me, game changer. We got our guy BillyRay, BillyRay's Old Style Gourmet Sweet and Spicy Barbecue Sauce. Good sauce. Put a nice finish on these ribs. Awesome. See you, everybody. Thanks for checking out my video. For more content like this, look me up on YouTube at Jack and Blue Barbecue.